Hey guys, gals, and Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome to Rycon Raw, the first episode. This will be an unedited conversation with myself as I walk to work in the morning. Now it's a very brisk and cold morning in New Zealand, so I'm going to try and keep my pace up so I can keep my body temperature up as well. But what is Rycon Raw? Well, essentially it's a conversational series with myself where each episode I will be talking about a single subject, and I hope this one will give you an idea of what to expect and whether or not you'd be interested in it. The first episode, the episode we're doing today, will be on getting started creatively and getting started on YouTube, because it's something that is asked of me a lot of the time. What you need to start, when you should start, and why you should start. And I'm going to start off with something of a tale of how I came to start making creative works. I've always enjoyed writing, and I used to write a lot when I was younger. I would always run into a problem though, a big problem, where I would get a chapter into my writing and I'd go back to the start and I'd start reading and I'd realize, crap, as I've been writing this chapter, I've gotten a hell of a lot better than I was when I first started, as you would expect. And so I would go, okay, I can do a lot better than this. So I go back and I start writing the piece again and again and again and again. And it's a vicious cycle that you end up getting into, where you can see the growth that you've had through that time of learning, which has been learning through doing, just crossing the road. And you want the rest of it to be just as good. And so you end up starting again and again. And you run into this kind of endless cycle where you can't progress, you can't move forward, because you're always going back to the start. And for a lot of people starting off on YouTube, that's a problem that they run into. They start making videos, some of them as a test to start off with, and they realize that by the time they've made one or two, that they can do a lot better, because you learn through doing, which is a big thing with making videos, especially as an amateur starting off. Now, where am I going with this, you might ask? Well, that's the thing. Starting is the most important thing. It's the way that you're going to learn your craft. It's the way that you're going to find your voice on YouTube, because your channel, after a while, it becomes its own beast. I'm just running across the road now. Where starting off is the most important thing, because the only way that you are going to learn and progress is by starting making something. It's by starting making the videos that you want to make. Now, not a lot of YouTubers have this, but if you go into their video section and you sort by date and have a look at their oldest videos, you'll see the videos that they are producing at the start compared to the videos that they're producing now, which is usually 3 or 4 years on from that, are vastly different. No one starts off with an incredibly polished piece of work. They haven't found their voice yet. They haven't found what their niche is, their thing, what they do. They haven't found that yet. And it'll be the same thing for you starting off. So I encourage you to go to your favorite YouTubers, go into the videos tab, sort by date, oldest, have a look at their first videos, and now have a look at their most recent video. There's a big difference. And that's why, for starting, it can be really threatening, because there is so much great quality, high production value stuff on YouTube now that, well, it's threatening to someone starting off. You know, you feel like you need to have all the bells and whistles. You need to have like the best equipment. You need to have the best graphics card. You need to have the best camera, the best lighting, but you don't, because they didn't when they started, and you don't need to either. So what I'm trying to say with this is that just start making what you want to make. Whoa, I just almost fell over. Start making what you want to make, that, you know, you love, that makes you passionate, and you will find that voice and you will get those better production values over time. You don't need those things starting off, you certainly don't, to have an entertaining and engaging product. Right, okay, so that is getting started. And I'd like to know what you guys think about the idea of that as well. More importantly, what you were able to find with some of your favorite YouTubers by going back and having a look at their first videos. Because when I go back and I have a look at mine, my first series was Logan's Tale, and looking at Logan's Tale episode 1 and now Logan's Dawn, there is a massive difference. Even with Leon's Tale in Skyrim, when I'm looking at episode 1 versus episode 61, there is a phenomenal difference in terms of the quality and in terms of my acting as well. It's all better. I'm using a better microphone, I've got a better graphics card, everything about it is better. And so there's that part of me that is wanting to go back and start again, because I realize I can do so much better now. But I think it's important sometimes, especially with creative pieces, to just let them sit, let them be where they are, because that's what I was capable of back then, and this is what I'm capable of now. And it's not only just a growth of the character, but it's a growth of me as a content creator as well. And I think for anyone watching a series like that, it can be encouraging because you can see that growth over time. No one becomes amazing at what they do overnight, and I'm not saying I'm amazing at what I do. I think I still have so much growing to do. But it can serve as an example. The story's still there, it's still enjoyable. People enjoyed it in the first place, and people are still enjoying it now. I did actually have someone asking me the other day whether I want to go back to the start and do it again. I mean, yes, I would like to do that, but that would stop me from telling new stories. And if every author did that, if J.K. Rowling did that, if Stephen King did that, I'm sure they're much better writers now than they were when they first started. But we wouldn't have the stories that we have now if they did keep going back to tell the same story. And unfortunately, we do see that in cinema. We see that in cinema quite a lot, where they're telling the same stories. Again, there are a lot of reboots. I'm just coming up to a very busy road, so I'm gonna have to concentrate for a little bit. Oh, we can wait. But yeah, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of reboots. People telling the same stories again, because they feel like they can tell that story better, because they have better technology. They have what they think is the means to tell the story better. But as most of us know, a lot of the time, the original was better. So yeah, that's my thought on reboots and rewriting and going back to the start to do it again. There is so much more out there that hasn't been written, so much more out there that hasn't been told. So we need to keep on creating new things. We need to keep on moving forward, even if it would be nice to go back and make something again with those renewed skills, but you wouldn't have got those skills in the first place if you hadn't made it. Okay, well, this has been interesting, and I know it's been a ramble of sorts, but I hope you've enjoyed it all the same. I am very close to work now, so I guess I'll be waving you all goodbye. Thank you for joining me. I've been Rycon. You have all been awesome, and as always, stay tuned.